The two of us hurry upstairs, though we remain watchful and wary of any potential threats to my person. We make it to the master bedroom without any trouble, though, and two of the security are left outside the door. No problems at all. Not until we get inside. I've barely taken a step in when my mobile rings. Looking at it shows an unmarked number, most likely one of my boys. I don't even have the time to speak before a nervous voice breaks through.
Hey boss, it's Carl from LPD. We've sort of got a situation here at the precinct.
Some Carl! Luke. I recognize the voice and the name. Carl, one of the police in my payroll, and one of the few I've trusted to ensure the black man's guilt in Hana's murder is a done deal. To hear from him now promises nothing but more trouble and headaches.
More problems! More problems! For goodness sake, I don't really need any more. What is it?
Does anybody ever need more problems?
Well, you know the missus's body? In the morgue.
Well, of course I know of it. Yes, what kind of numpty do you take me for?
Numpty.
I don't know why you're calling me about this, though.
See, boss, it's gone. Your wife's body is missing from the morgue. And the coroner who was looking it over as well. Dead.
Oh, well that's unfortunate. I expected many a thing. Maybe the coroner asking for twice the usual pay to muck things up because of Hana's celebrity status. Perhaps a hiccup in the system that needed expert advice from one of my lawyers. But a disappearing corpse and a dead coroner?
What?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
We haven't looked through security tapes yet. But I thought you ought to know when...
Then, go look at the security tapes before bothering me with this, you incompetent fool.
Well, rip Carl. What do I even pay these people for if I have to do everything myself?
Listen to me. And listen to me good. I have problems of my own right now. So, if you'd like to keep your tiny head on your tiny shoulders, you'd best go look for the body and not bother me about it again.
Nice aggressive inhales.
Is that understood, Carl?
Carl!
No, sir. I mean, yes, sir. Of course, what was I thinking wasting your time with this, huh? Me and A are going to deal with this. No problem.
Oh, is Abigail on the payroll as well? I mean, A. It could be anybody, but that's the only other character I know that starts with an A. As time and experience proves, if money doesn't work, threats do. At least for the moment. But it's good enough for me if it gets me off this call and back to making sure I am safe.
Who was that?
One of those incompetent officers from the LPD. They say Hana's body is gone from the morgue. Can you believe them? I don't even want to think about what happened to it right now. Fucking Christ, will this day not end?
I feel tired. So tired. The only thing keeping me awake is the thought that that woman is still somewhere out there. But the thought of just sleeping through it all, while Johans keeps guard, is just heavenly right now.
Whatever, they'll call back later.
You're not worried?
Well, what do you want me to do? Drive to the city and try to look for the corpse of my wife? One, Shrokin. The city is big.
Shrokin.
Two, it's LPD's job to keep an eye on the corpse. They didn't, it's their mess to fix.
For the moment, at least. I just don't see what other problem that might pop up from this. We have a scapegoat. I have an alibi. Harvey will make sure that Gollywog will be convicted. Money, reputation, connections, the company I've built. Everything. I have it all. That's a reason to be happy. Right?
Now, if you'll excuse me, since you insisted I stay here, I might as well get some rest. Leave, Shrokin.
Of course.
Despite his words, he lingers. If I didn't know any better, I'd say he wants to make sure I get in that damn bed and sleep before he turns away from me. What am I, a child? Watching me and treating me like one? There's the reason why we will never get along.
Well, what are you waiting for?
Nothing. I just hope you're happy.
Do you? Do you really?
Verily, now mush!
Verily!
As you wish.
Only then does he seem to get the hint. I'm verily happy, if you must know. Yeah, our boy's dead. That was his eyeballs you found earlier. Bumping into Luke after his flight from the ballroom, Johans quickly ushered the paranoid man to his room, while the house's security looked for the trespasser. Suddenly, officer from LPD called and informed Luke that his wife's body had gone missing from the morgue. With a nod, he leaves, locks and closes the door behind him. For a moment, I still hear his voice while he gives the guards outside firm instructions, then a hush as soon as he departs and his footsteps fade away. One that doesn't quite last. As quickly as the silence settles, lightning flashes across the sky, followed immediately by the loud boom of thunder. And that wanker strikes so dangerously close that I can feel the electricity in the air. The power goes out not a second later, and I feel as if I'm being mocked by whatever greater power there is. All is deathly still for a moment, but soon the rain starts once again. Far heavier than the light drizzle from this morning, its pitter-patter hitting hard against the place's roof. Despite the noise, I find myself drawn to my bed, exhausted, hoping for a little nap at night. I'm safe here. LPD will find her, and when I wake, I won't have anything to worry about. It does not take long. Once my head hits the pillow, in a matter of minutes, darkness claims me, bringing with it laughters and whispers of a twisted love from a time long gone. Ooh.
Who are you? Stay away!
Stay away.
Sweet dreams, my love. It'll be over soon.
Your voice is a lot deeper than I remember. Huh, that's interesting. Was it Edouard? Yet, in spite of the unfamiliar voices and unwanted touches from shadows lurking in the dark, rousing is a slow, arduous process. Difficult. Every limb heavy with lead. No matter my aversion for the words they murmur in my ears, or the sight of her horrid smile from afar, my body refuses to yield. I am at their mercy. Beyond fathomable reason, my consciousness refuses the pull of the waking world, choosing to linger in the pits of a dream, gradually drawing me deeper into unknown depths. Somehow, even if it might mean I may never open my eyes, I allow them.
You do not belong there, my love.
Not that I mind getting a few extra hours, of course. The bed's more than comfortable as it is, after an exhausting day yesterday. Babysitting Kylie, the stress of finding an intruder in my own home, not to mention those bloody eyeballs they left. I think I deserve a little break every once in a while, especially after going through all that in a single day. I can only be on the receiving end of so many unacceptable things within the span of a few hours, you know? As gracious a host and person I am, my patience has its limits, too. Although there's still that problem with Hana. I haven't forgotten that, of course, but that's why I hired Shrokin. He's competent enough. He won't even last a day in my service if he's any lesser than those half-wits who think they can deceive me with sweet words. He's more than capable of working on his own without guidance. Let the butler take care of that little problem with Hana once those dunderheads from LPD call in for an update, while Hana's body is still missing. Hana's still missing, and the trespasser's still out there.
You do not need her. I am here. We are here.
We are Legion.
This is where your home is. Where you belong. For all that blood you shed.
Well, there's that deeper one again.
Come back to us.
How long has it been since? Is finding a dead body really that hard?
Surely there should have been an update by now. Right?
So why isn't there?
Please don't go.
Bloody hell, the cretins I've surrounded myself with.
And isn't that enough reason to force myself out of bed? As it has always been the case. Shh. My eyes fly open, expecting the warm rays of sunshine filtering through the curtains, only to be greeted by a blinding flash of light and a loud boom of thunder that sounded nearly too close to my ears. Strong gusts of wind will occasionally burst in from the open balcony door, bringing in drizzles of cold rain into the room. I must have left it open earlier before dozing off. The carpet and the floor closest to it is already drenched. Hana would be crossed if she were still here. Not that it's an immediate problem. If anything, it's this power outage we should be minding first. With the intruder still at large, steering through this darkness might be far more fatal than multiple stab wounds or a gunshot to the chest.
Oh, great. The power's still out. That is exactly what I need right now. Yes.
It's the storm, of course. I should have moved back to the penthouse to weather it in a much more comfortable setting. Already I can hear the creak and groans of this old place as rain beats against the windows.
Johans! Has someone been sent to check the circuit breaker yet?
No answer.
Johans?
Silence.
Schroken! Someone! Anyone?
Still nothing, and my cordial mood is quickly dissipating.
Where are those idiots when you need them?
It's really a wonder why he hasn't fixed this yet. Was I really out that long? Can't be. It has only been a few hours after midnight, if the time on my wristwatch is anything to go by. Unless I've forgotten to change it again after that last overseas trip a month ago. Although the delay is understandable. In this storm, I'll bet this house has given him another problem to fix. Bloody rush jobs. My safety's at stake here! Cursing, I stay still, letting my eyes try and adjust to the darkness while my hands fumble for my slippers. If that butler isn't going to fix this, I may as well order the security posted outside to do it. It's probably just a blown fuse. Anyone with a brain can repair one. Grabbing my jacket and with footwear finally on, I make for the door. Although in haste, I pause briefly when a gleam catches my eye. On one of my drawers, underneath the clutter I've yet to organize, the muzzle of a gun peeks out. Hana has never openly commented my possession of it, but I know she does not approve of it, knowing the bloody firearms policy in this nation. Of course, I've not found much use for it in the 7 years we've been together, otherwise she would have already had it thrown out years ago. Doesn't mean it won't be useful right now. Without second thought, I seize it, sending the stuff piled above it onto the floor. Whatever. I'll get to it later. This blackout problem should be resolved first. But, of course, right after I've made the effort and I'm already dressed and on my feet, without even waiting for my permission, the door swings open and in comes Schroken, striding into the room like he owns the place. No respect for authority at all. Though he does pause midway to glance at where I am at once he notices the empty bed. The look on his face when his eyes land on me. I can't decide if he's simply cautious or scandalized. Last I've checked, I look decent enough. Is it the hair?
Oh, you're already up.
But really, why do I let him get away with such disrespect? Why do I keep anyone? Sometimes I think I'm better off alone, you know? Then again, I wouldn't have anyone to boss around if I live on my own.
Did you come in here just to sass me? And before you do that, I'll have you know that I've been calling you for a good...
We have a problem.
Not again. He says that as if he's simply talking about the weather and not a problem. Not that I find anything new in it. The man's humor has always been as dry as a bone. You won't even know he has told a joke until there's an awkward silence in the room. Probably why this irks me. Because if there's one thing, ever since we started living in this mansion, that has remained consistent, it's that word. Somehow, every single day, we have to deal with a problem. I'm not entirely sure how exactly he's expecting me to react after dropping another bomb like that on me. Just after waking up at that. On top of Hana's dead body missing, this power failure, and that woman who keeps trespassing in my home. Forgive me. I have every right to be this cheesed off in the middle of the night.
What do you mean we have a problem? Haven't we had enough for one night? Good Lord. Do I have to be the one to fix everything, every little issue that pops up in this house? Do I have to be there every single time? Can't you just fix it?
My My men know I dislike doing legwork unless it's of the utmost necessity and importance. If I did do something on my own, it is only done in the direst of situations. That or I must be very, very bored.
I can, but I thought you might want to see this one for yourself before any disposal occurs.
For all my exasperation over this, he sure does know how to get me interested.
Where?
He's in the study right now. Sound asleep, though it won't be long before he wakes up. I found him nosing around the attic. Odd if you ask me. Not quite sure why he went there. A doorway and he would have gotten easily to you. Unless you're not the reason why he's here.
Ah.
He? So there are what? 2 different people trying to get to me?
That's already one too many to deal with. What is wrong with these people?
Possibly. There might be more. You really aren't a likable sort. And this shouldn't be surprising anymore. Didn't you used to count how many enemies you've made? I believe it was a yearly thing. Or have you already stopped?
Normally, I'd point out Hana likes me well enough. After all, that's all that matters. Or at least, it used to. But she's already dead. Killed by her own husband. Even if I say she loved me in life, the fact that she died by my own hands is already enough reason for her to hate me in death.
Why do you even care if I'm still counting or not? And we're wasting time here. Come on now, lackey. If you say he's in the study, to the study we go. And mush.
Sometimes I must wonder how well you sleep at night. And why I haven't smothered you yet.
I do wonder that sometimes. Luke is so mushy this time around. Right. Luke Wright woke up to a storm raging outside and with his whole house eerily quiet. Power was still off and no one answered even when he called out. To his relief, Johann showed up moments later bringing news he might be interested in. I can only laugh in amusement and shake my head as I step out. But I don't grace his question with an answer, though I have something in mind. Perhaps it's because I'm a fun boss. Wait. Did we... Were we upstairs, went downstairs, and went back upstairs? What the heck? And tonight, we really are going to have lots of fun. I haven't looked forward to something in a while. Bloody, I don't think I've done this enough these past few years. It does actually feel quite refreshing to be back doing what I'm used to, even if it's only for one night. And after we're done with him and get what we need from him, there'll be one less problem to worry about. Win-win, if anyone bothers asking me. Things are finally looking up. Well, at least you finally made it to your study. The idiot's still unconscious when we march into the study. Though with the rolling pin sitting so completely out of place atop my desk, I'm not shocked. Getting hit by one must have dislodged his brain by a few paces. In fact, I'm already willing to bet he'll be out until sunrise. Here's to hoping the way Shrokin has cuffed him won't damage him first. Being bound like that is guaranteed to cut off circulation in his arms at some point. Painful, but where's the fun in that? He has the gall, though. Walking into my home, looking like a little pig fresh off bathing under the sun and rolling in a patch of mud. Just because you're trespassing or about to kill someone doesn't mean you have the right to walk into other people's homes dirty. Really, sloshing your muddy boots about and sullying the floor. No wonder he got the metal rolling pin and not the pan. Bloody, even my late mom, bless her poor tortured soul, won't tolerate that. Where are his manners?
I swear, people need to stop breaking into my house. What is wrong with all these lunatics? You'd think they'd put more thought before stumbling into somebody else's home unannounced. This on top of my wife's dead body, which is missing from the bloody morgue.
I suppose the act of committing crime must have some attraction to the insane.
Are you trying to say something, Shrokin?
Of course, you'd know all about that, wouldn't you?
I thought so.
I'd bloody gut you. But you won't be able to clean up after if you're the sorting corpse, will you?
But more than that. A look of pain crosses his pretty face when I grip his chin with faint glee. He appears familiar. I just can't recall where I've seen his mug before. Certainly not in a place I frequent. Although, for someone who looks... well, still not as good looking as me, of course, but to some degree decent, he seems to lack the brain capacity and etiquette to complete the package. Sorry, Luke, are you saying you'd like smash if he wasn't in here trying to kill you right now? I just want to be very clear. Disappointing, I might add. What with that fancy coat, he better prove interesting to make up for it. Light marks mar his skin where my nails dig into him, and I have to wonder how much more I have to push before I break skin. I don't have time to figure it out, though, as a moment later, the little pig stirs with a soft groan.
I'd love to see you try. When was the last time you... Oh, there we go. The dumb cop is waking up.
Fuck.
Little pig. Oh, no.
Awake already. He's only been out a few minutes.
Oh, there's the abs again.
Shruggin, did you not hit him hard enough? Shouldn't he be out longer?
Rest in peace, Ash's abs.
That rolling pin was made of metal. His skull must be very thick.
I only want to knock him out, not kill him, silly man. If I really wished him dead, I could have easily targeted his pterion. That, or the back of his neck, just below the skull. Oh well, look at it this way. It is good news. This means he'll be capable of giving you the answers you seek, yes?
True, true. I do have many questions for our trespasser here.
At least he does prove to be fun, if a little frustrating with his act. Especially when it is my turn. When was the last time I've had to interrogate anybody? It's been a while, hasn't it? I do hope I haven't gotten rusty. But I do remember the basics. And one of the first things one has to remember is to make sure the poor sap who got the short end of the stick can't fight back.
I'm telling you, you saw that letter, didn't you? I don't know how it works, but everyone who's seen it ends up dead, or in an accident if they don't go missing entirely. I know this sounds crazy, but you have to believe me.
And we're back to the madman ramblings.
He believes me a fool, saying that he came here to help me rather than harm. If that isn't the worst excuse I've heard, I don't know what is. I want to make him regret thinking he can play me like a fiddle.
Make him pay, my love.
Hello.
You do not deserve to be treated the way you did, taking you for a fool.
I say it time and time again. There is always a certain joie de vivre in having power over another man. Schadenfreude, Johannes calls it. Not absolute power, mind you. I always like a little spark, a little spice, a little fire in my poison of choice. Whether it's alcohol, food, or sex, or even enemies. Easy is boring. A little challenge never hurt anybody. Because there's little point in hurting someone who won't even fight back. There's no satisfaction in trying to win against another who would rather grovel, cry and beg at one's feet, curled up like a little child wailing for their mother
And when we're done with him, there's a nice plot of land for new daffodils. You'll make excellent fertilizer. Sounds like a plan, doesn't it?
And where was I? Ah, yes. There's a joy in bringing men like the detective to the brink of despair, to have them realize that they have little power in the face of harsh reality, and making them concede that I am the better man using the business end of my knife.
While we're at it, why don't you be a good boy and close your eyes? I really don't like the way you're looking at me. If looks could kill, really, I think I'd be dead on the spot. Close your pretty little eyes, unless you want me to pluck them out with a spoon.
Some might call me a sadist, and some might even go further and call me a monster. I do admit to the former, and a small part of me fears that I love the thought of being the latter.
It is of no consequence, my love. I am here. It is all that matters. Us.
But at the end of it all, I am just a man who hungers for excitement, for power, for control. Unfortunately, or perhaps fortunately for him, he passes out not too long into it. Hanging limp from where he's been shackled, blood dripping into the floor from every wound we've inflicted on him.
Mad props to little pig, though. All that effort from us, and we still got nothing from him.
Mad props.
Tough little bastard.
Either he's been trained for this, or he has simply lost consciousness before he can spill anything. Meanwhile, Shrokin makes a face at the mess we've made, although wisely keeps his mouth shut. He is in no place to complain when I've given him enough freedom tonight, and he's as responsible for this. Without a single comment or a dry quip, he's out the door. Muttering something about getting a disinfectant and some cleaning effects from the kitchen, leaving me in the silence of the room. Or as silent as it can be with a storm raging outside. The winds have intensified. The windows and rafters have begun creaking in earnest. Any harder, and I think this whole house might fall. I hope not. I did not live this long to die helplessly under a bunch of century-old beams collapsing on me. I'd rather be burned alive and be condemned for my sins, really. Makes for a great exit when you think about it. Thankfully, it's a thought that doesn't linger long. Shrokin, you look like you've seen a ghost. Soon enough, Shrokin returned, slamming the door open with much force. I almost jump. He looks frazzled, hair and suit in disarray, as if he has just made a mad dash from the kitchen or he's seen a ghost. Although he's still far from a person panicking, it's the closest he can get to it with the wild look in his eyes. And slowly, like he's easing me into it...
We have another problem, right?
Do go on.
Again?
Again? Too close. Too close to drawing my gun and just shooting at him if I didn't have the patience of a saint right here and there. He should be grateful this little activity with Little Pig has taken some of the tension I'm carrying since yesterday.
Oh, tell me, Shrokin, Johans.
Mm-hmm.
How many more of these little problems are there for me to fix tonight? What the bloody fuck is it this time?
That inner architect we lost?
Oh, you found her. Inner architect? Interior architect? Did my brain translate that right?
Wait, what? Mint?
Mint?
What about Marianne?
I found her.
To say this doesn't worry me might be a bit of an understatement. Her secretary has just called us yesterday looking for her. The last time people have seen of her was before the party. Here. Then suddenly she shows up again in the same place she went missing. There will be a whole slew of problems attached to this.
What do you mean you found her? I know her assistant said she's been missing over the weekend, but goodness. Did she get locked in... where? The cupboards? The wine cellar? I know she's Irish and they have a reputation, but that's hilarious if true.
I think you're snapping. Did she sneak in and got stuck in there? Please don't tell me she was just drinking the weekend away down there. This was priceless. I half wish Johans would just carry her right out of there just to make fun of her.
Oh God, where is she? Oh, I've got to see this for myself. I could use a win tonight.
However, there is no humor in the other man's look, even as I nearly bust my gut laughing. He just looks completely horrified.
Right. She is dead. It is her corpse, and it is not at all a pretty sight.
Yeah, it's not good. Now that he's mentioned it, I have noticed a sickly sweet smell wafting from the cellar door in the few times I've passed by. I thought that perhaps it was another bottle of wine dropped by another dullard from the staff. But now that this has come to light, it might be the rank stench of old meat and cheap perfume. Oh, gross, why? Of a body gradually decaying. And knowing what it is, or rather who it is, makes me want to throw up.
Jesus bloody Christ! How even? Has no one been down there to check the stocks?
That's what I've been wondering.
Not since the party, no.
And she, what, starved to death down there?
It can't be. It hasn't been long enough for her to starve. It'll take 3 weeks for someone to actually starve to death. Moreover, even if it is wine, there's plenty for her to drink down there to at least keep going for the 3 or 4 days she's been down there for.
I did not linger long enough for a proper look. It looks like her head has been nearly cut off. Rather poorly at that. You could take a look if you like.
I don't wanna. I don't think I want to see that, no. Thank you. But I can't come up with a witty or scathing denial to his kind offer. Not as my mind struggles to just let this all sink in.
Bloody hell! I just want to go to bed. Forget all this shite ever happened. Can this day possibly get any worse?
You just had to say it, didn't you?
Anyway, let's just get this whole thing over with. The cellar, right?
We have to look.
How can a person just die right there?
They had their head cut off. And unable to answer that question, there's a long while where the both of us are quiet, and nothing but the pitter-patter of the rain fills the air while we head for the cellar. I don't think this is the right way to the cellar. Call me crazy, but I think Luke is getting lost in his own house. Ugh! Unable to get any information from the detective, Johannes left to find something they could use to clean the bloody mess in the study. When he returned, however, he claimed to have found their missing interior designer in the wine cellar, dead. And there they... dash. All of a sudden, nothing's funny about this anymore, and taking the gun with me seems a good call. Fuck. I also need a drink. Really, if I can, I will not give a flying fuck about this. Johannes can just get rid of the body and be done with it. But whoever had the audacity to leave a dead interior designer, a well-known one at that, in my own home, needs to be taken care of. To leave that kind of loose end is dangerous. I'm walking through the whole house. I'd rather not have a knife in the back while I sleep, and I certainly don't want to be accused of murders I'm not even responsible for. It'll be embarrassing to have trouble because of a frame-up. Jesus Christ, I can feel a headache coming on already just thinking about all this. How did it come to this? It's one bad luck after another. The only thing we did is buy a house, for fuck's sake. I didn't ask for extras like this. If I have to look at that again. It is a good thing no one comes down here unless there's a need to restock the kitchen's wine supply. Not without reason, and not without Johannes or myself ordering them. I don't go down here myself. I may have a penchant for good wine, but I don't go through our supply that fast. Because it's obvious by the smell that something really died in here. The reality is just sinking into me now. Going by it alone, it has been there far longer than a dead body should be left stuck in an enclosed space. Yeah, is it just like seeped into the kegs and the wine and stuff now? Like the smell? Ugh. To sum it up, it's horrendous.
Ugh. It takes somebody without a nose to get through this horrible stench. Please don't tell me it's not too far from here.
She's just on the other side of this shelf.
Oh, great, more walking.
Oh, great! It's been a while since I last had to tolerate the stench of a rotting corpse. Perhaps for that reason, why a whiff of this one comes off worse when it shouldn't. Isn't there some kind of a rule in this? Shouldn't there have been a delay of some sort before it starts smelling like this? Or perhaps it's because I'm no longer as used to it as I've been in the past. It has been years. No wonder my first instinct is to balk, my back hitting the wall once her body comes into view, and Stroken removes the handkerchief covering her face. Okay, my hand's coming up because I don't want to see it again.
Fuck,
Yep.
What the hell happened to you, Mint? Oh, that looks horrid.
You're taking it a lot better
She
than I
likely
thought.
died from the wound first.
Where I can easily pretend that the other corpses I've seen in my life are just sleeping, the same does not apply to the other woman. The slit on her neck is a jagged mess. Thanks to the room's humidity, decay has just started. Elsewhere, she would have already started rotting, eaten away by maggots long before we even found her. For a moment, once the horror has passed, I consider pinning her death on that man like I've done with Hana's. But why should I even? Nobody else knows of her just yet. We can just make her body disappear, along with the detective, once we're done with him. That'd be the simpler route. But this will have to be decided later. Whew. Suddenly, Stroken gestures for me from the other end of this passage. Just a few paces away from McCullough, he stands, glaring at some part of the wall as if it has offended him. I raise an eyebrow in question, but he merely answers with a gesture of his head.
Another thing you need to see.
And I immediately know why. Where his eyes are trained, a door lies slightly ajar. One that shouldn't have been there in the first place. 'Cause it's the jail cell. A frown quickly appears in my forehead as I stare at it, and where it offers a small glimpse of the room on the other side. I can barely see anything, but from what little my eyes can catch beyond the darkness...
Are those jail cells?
So it seems, I'm afraid.
Whoa, what? In my own home? Underneath my own house? Right in the place where I sleep and live?
You have not been made aware of this?
Don't smirk like that.
Obviously, do you see this face? Do I look very happy about this? Do I look unsurprised about this? What else is in there? Bones! Oh, more dead people! Oh, Christ, how many?
He's just losing it.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God.
For someone who is used to putting bullets in other people's heads, you're very cross about this.
Well, pardon me.
Oh, what did you expect? There's a dead interior designer over there. Lunatics have been going in and out of my home. And now I find out that there are places in this bloody mansion I haven't been made aware of, full of little surprises for myself or the fucking police. So yes, I am very cross about this, Shroken. What's next? A magical, mystical, spooky graveyard in my bathroom?
I wouldn't rule anything out.
Did that estate company know about this? Is that why they had no problems just handing it to us?
You were very eager to buy this place off their hands, though.
I am most definitely not very eager now.
Why don't you think of it this way? At least now you know where those trespassers might be coming from.
I suppose you have a point. How far does this thing go?
Quite a few places, it seems.
There's only darkness on the other side. Fortunately, I'm sober enough to ever think of venturing into this place. Who knows where this'll take me? Good call. Maybe when I'm drunk I'll be curious enough. But Shroken has made a valid point. And if this is their point of entry, we better look into it and bar it as soon as possible. We've had so many close calls just this week. I'm not taking a chance.
Well, get on it. I want wherever this place leads to closed and sealed tightly. We've gotten enough magical surprise trespassers in this house.
He makes no further comment, but the man does give me another long-suffering look before pushing the door open and stepping into the poorly lit tunnel. There's a bit of a struggle at first while he tries to get a stable footing, testing the steps with a few light taps of his sole. Soon he's on his way, his treads echoing loudly inside the empty passage. I was wondering how you were going to die, Shroken. Well, thank you for your service. Curious, I follow after him without crossing the threshold. From where I stand, I can barely see anything apart from the cells closest to the door. There's a light draft blowing from the other end, carrying with it this old musky smell. I don't want to think what that might be. Merely looking into the cavern gives me the chills, as if in every shadow there's an eye watching me, calling for me. Eerie. There's no other word for it but eerie. The sound of Shroken's footfalls abruptly stopping certainly does not help.
Shroken, how is it?
Silence.
Shroken!
From somewhere, something scampers, its sound quickly fading as it moves farther from me. Still no response from Johans, however. As aggravating as that man is, I'm beginning to worry.
Johans! I know you're there!
Another breeze blows in. This time it's as if there's someone whistling on the other end. Or maybe that's just my imagination.
Hey, Johans! If this is your idea of a...
I never get to finish that. Before the rest of it slips out of my mouth, without any preamble, the door slams shut. And reverberating above the loud thud it leaves in its wake is a scream. Shrill. Blood-curdling. Almost harrowing, the way it sends a sharp chill in every nerve in my body. And along with it is a familiar voice.
Who are you?
She's letting you hear it? That is so rude.
No, no, no. Stay away. Stay away.
Oh, poor Stroken. I don't know what's going on the other side. With the doors shut tight, showing no sign of budging open no matter how much I push or pull at it, there's no way of knowing. However, the sound filtering through the closed door is enough to make my knees buckle and shake. This isn't fear. I want to believe this isn't fear. That's definitely the closest I can get to it. Horrid. It's nothing but horrid that I can almost see flesh being ripped apart with every second the noise lingers. I need to get away.
Oh God. Oh God. I am going to sue those people. I am going to sue every bloody goddamn person who sold us this house. I need to get my lawyer. And...
Good jokes, Luke. Good jokes. Stumbling back, the back of my shoes catches on something. If you've tripped over Marianne, I swear. My foot slips, sending me tumbling down on my hind. It takes a moment before I notice a wetness seeping into my pants, and another second later to realize it's blood. McCullough's blood. But there's no moment left to feel repulsed by the thick metallic scent it sends into the air, or how Mint's eyes stare blankly at me. Her laughter's getting close. Without thinking twice, I'm picking myself up from the floor and scrambling for the larder, the smell of blood and rotting corpse be damned. In 5 seconds flat, I've ascended and closed the hatch behind me, bolting it shut with not one, but 2 locks I can find from the cupboards and throwing the keys away. I don't even consider waiting if I've managed to keep whoever it is there. The second the last lock clicks into place, I'm out of the damn kitchen. Running as quick as I can, as if any minute whoever finished off Stroken will jump up from the cellar and grab me. At some point, in my panic, I've also drawn my pistol, the closest thing I have to comfort after that. Who is she? Stroken said he doesn't recognize her from my description. An outsider? A daughter of another businessman that holds a grudge with me? I seriously can't remember who, if she is. There are plenty of them. Well, they're Suarez, but Kylie's a darling child. She won't ever hurt Tio Luke. Who then? The only person I can think of right now who can give me answers is that little pig, who should be soundly asleep at the study. But fucking Mongrel is in on this, isn't he? Working together with that woman. Getting caught on purpose so he can distract us and get to me. And what of Hana? What did they do to her? Are they also the reason why she's missing? He's a police officer. He likely has easy access to the where they're keeping Hana's corpse. A bullet to the head is least he deserves for creating this nightmare.
That's right, my love.
He should be stoned to death.
You don't need them.
Burned.
Make them pay.
To make up for every single wrong he's done.
For all the wrong they've done to us.
Okay. Ah. Upon my entrance, the door leading to the foyer bursts open with a loud clap, accompanied by the rumbling of thunder outside. The downpour has intensified, and lightning streaks across the night sky more frequently than hours before. I ignore all of it, heading straight for the stairs with only my purpose in mind. And her whispers. Leading me. Calling me. Beckoning.
We don't need them.
But short of my foot taking on the first step upstairs, a noise to my left distracts me, briefly halting my movements while curiosity takes over every murmurs in my head. And it's a good thing perhaps that I did, because as soon as I look up, I see him. The detective. Just as he's about to jump down from furniture that has somehow ended up piled blocking the door to the parlor. What happened there? And did he really think getting out of this house will be that easy?
Teach him, my lord. Put him in his place.
My feet's already moving before any rationale can stop me. A hand firm at my gun when I finally release the safety from it and take aim at him. My finger on the trigger is more than itching to shoot, but I hold back. More than seeing him bleed, I want to see the expression on his face once he realizes everything he's doing is futile. He's trapped. His life's in my hand.
Well, You aren't as incompetent as I thought.
I can tell the exact moment the realization dawns on him. A short second of his body freezing and blood draining from his face as soon as his feet hits the floor. He wastes no time drawing his own gun, but by then it's too late. He's already a prey, trapped by his own recklessness.
Pathetic.
Still he glares at me. Still he fights back.
Now, little pig. Manners. You're in no position to be pointing that gun at people.
There's no desperation in him like I'm hoping. Just an annoyance flickering shortly before being hidden underneath a challenge. The likes of him are the kind of people I hate the most. Even with their failures already glaring down at them, mocking every worthless move they make, they have the impudence to stare people in the eye.
Why don't you put yours down first, and then we'll talk about manners.
Oh, he talks back. The gall! You know, your kind pisses me off so much.
Annoying most of the time. Like a damn pest you can't be rid of. But to some degree, it is commendable. I'll give him that. After all, we're almost the same in that regard. Almost. I'm still the better person, of course, and the more handsome of the two. He tells me to put the gun down, but I see no reason why I should. I'm a homeowner in defense of my own home. I have the right to, I'd like to think. Questionable permit of firearms aside. Bloody peasants. Even knowing that, I can never seem to figure how their minds fully work. And I should have also expected he won't let this end in this kind of standstill.
Sorry about this. I really don't have time for you.
A short lapse. That's all it is. One moment of letting my guard down. Before I can react, he fires 2 shots in quick succession. A sound crackling through the empty foyer, almost as loud as the storm raging outside, breaking the tense air in the room. Pain explodes in my wrist no 2 seconds later. Just a graze. However, it is enough to cause my fingers to tense, and the pistol slides to the floor with a dull thud.
Why, you insolent!
The next moments happen in a blur. In the following second, I am being tackled bodily to the ground, back hitting the cold floor hard and an arm pinning me down by the neck. There's a fleeting minute of panic and struggle while I try to untangle myself from him before he manages to knock me out. And then... a scream. A wail piercing through the thick air. Shrill and sharp enough for the both of us to cover our ears and hunker down on our knees. And with each sharp note beating harshly against my head are the images again. Faces and voices, so utterly unfamiliar, seeping into every crevice, turning sinister with each shift. They are not mine, but they might as well be with how vivid and crisp they appear. Over and over, they all flash behind my eyes until it becomes unbearable. Pounding, throbbing, thudding against my skull, worse than any headache a hangover can give. Bloody, I'll take a hangover over this any day. A haze begins to fill my vision as black spots dance around the corners of my eyes. Beside me, the detective suddenly falls, muttering something quietly to himself as something distinctly red flows from under him. Oh, so you missed where the fire poker went through his chest, eh? Blood, perhaps. In the blurry mess of my vision, it doesn't quite register. Nothing does. Except for the voice unexpectedly ringing above the discord, and when I finally gather the strength to look up, everything falls away into the background. All that matters is her.
I told you, didn't I?
Ah, we're caught up!
Everything you're doing is useless, Ashton Frey. And now, you're dying. Meddlesome fool. How does dying alone feel, Ashton Frey?
Hannah? You're not supposed to be here.
For a moment I wonder if it had been me who had died and not her. After all, that can be the only logical explanation as to why I hardly draw breath while she stands there. Of course, another logical explanation would be that I'm high, and this is a really, really bad trip. Either reason doesn't suit me. Though it can't very well be the former. Even from down here, I can see the blood that stains her dress. Seeing that makes me feel as if my hands are covered in them once more. Warm and sticky, sweet and sickly.
Oh, Luke, darling, my love. You look so upset. Are you not happy to see me?
But let's be honest here. Any explanation, any reason as to why a dead woman walks once more is a bad one to me. Especially when it's one that I've killed. I mean, how even? What sort of sick joke is this? Not that any of this still matters, weak as I am, with this headache crushing my skull, bearing down on me with a weight that leaves me gasping. Soon, despite my efforts to fight it, the entire room tilts forward and the floor rises to meet my face.
Don't worry, my love. Everything will be over soon.
Well, he passed out. Above the deafening din of thunder and the howling of the winds, her sickening laughter is the last thing I hear before the blackness spreads and claims me. Oh. I woke up in bed. That's nice. My whole body seizes with a gasp violent enough to wake me. Just as soon, my eyes flings open, looking wildly around, searching for that familiar, sickening smile. There's a brief moment of confusion when I don't find her and see only an empty room before me. Gotta say, Ghost Lady's strong. She, carried him up to bed. Respect. The storm still rages outside, with a draft sweeping into the room from the balcony door I've forgotten to close last night. In far-off horizon, lightning cuts sharply through the dark sky, illuminating everything in sight, before disappearing with a boom of thunder at its heels.
A dream.
Sure.
It must have been a dream.
Yet it all feels too real. The migraine still pounding in my head serves to remind me of that. Though maybe it's because I haven't eaten anything since this afternoon. Coupled with everything going on in this bloody mansion this past week, I no longer have any doubts what this is. Stress! Just stress. It's the weather. Stress, this cold, all kinds of stuff. What else can it be? Everything will pass soon. The headache will be gone tomorrow, along with every fucking problems, and all will be well.
Fucking nightmares.
The expensive mattress and pillows feel heavenly under my tired body when I flop back down to it. Burying my face into the soft Egyptian cotton and simply laying still makes the idea of sleep especially inviting. But with this irritating pounding in my head, it's impossible to get even a single wink of rest. Without the alcohol, I'm going to have it rough trying to calm down or sleep. I suppose now's a good time as any for that drink. Hana won't approve, of course, but she's no longer here. Perks of being a widow and all that. I throw the blankets aside and rush outside before another bout of regret hits the pit of my stomach. She's gone. She's dead. Just like every other people in my life, nuisance or otherwise. Only I remain. It's true, you're all that's left. Nothing else matters. It's dark, but the large windows of the foyer illuminate the area much more easily than any of the other rooms. That's the smallest of blessings I can ever ask for, in the hopes that I can go to bed after this little trip without further incident. But I have to stop in my tracks as something catches my eye. Carefully, I draw closer and... on the floor, a smear. In the darkness, it's impossible to tell what it is, but it has left an ugly track, disappearing underneath the door leading to the dining room. Well, she was trying to clean up. Whoever left this here will have to answer to Johans in the morning. He hates seeing mess, be it mud tracks or the tiniest drop of wine on the serving platter. Bastard. For now, I follow it, letting it guide me in this darkness, even if I feel its purpose is anything but. Taking amusement in imagining how Shrokin's expression will change from surprise to disdain upon seeing it. Where are you taking me? However, I can only feel disappointment once I open the doors to the kitchen. There are only empty wine bottles put aside to be cleaned and stored for collection. And I can't be bothered to try and find out where Johans has hidden the absinthe on Hana's orders. Even in death, she continues to bug me like this, keep me from my beloved wine. I do have other options. Although I'd rather not go down the wine cellar myself, especially in this darkness. But when needs must be satisfied. can't be helped that the need to wind back is monumental, right? And I really need this fucking drink. Even the smear seems to lead me to it. Yeah, I'm like, are you gonna have to find her body again to be like, crap, that wasn't a dream? But like in the dream, there's still that horrendous smell in this place. It's really an awful stench. But it's not too far off from how dearest Hana smelled until they've taken her to the morgue. Despite this, I can't bring myself to leave. So I sit down, looking at anywhere but the smears that have converged on one side of the wall. It only reminds me of the room upstairs where I've briefly kept her. Why bother? There's also a pool of dark liquid near the wine vat, though I don't dare examine what it is. Some things I'd rather not know. Instead, I fixate on the colorful glass bottles that lined the wall before I pull one out and pop open the cork from the bottle, taking a swig like I'm drinking water. Or rather, a huge chug of the stuff. There's some delight when I feel a delightful burn in the back of my throat and realize that it isn't exactly wine I have in my hand. Whiskey. How quaint. That explains where the rest of the alcohol was. I really shouldn't be drinking. It's dangerous enough as it is to intoxicate myself while there's a killer on the loose and Shrokin hasn't come back. I must look like some bum who's managed to scrounge enough money for a bottle of booze.
Hana would kill me if she saw me in here like this. Probably say something scathing and witty like... You might as well shoot yourself in the liver, Lucille. Really now?
Yes, that's exactly how she sounded.
She was such a nag.
A morbid mockery of a tale directed at no one. Soon, choked laughter rings out in the wine cellar. It takes me a bit to realize that I'm the one who's laughing. My cheeks are wet with tears, too. Because, damn it,
I miss her.
it's stupid and crazy of me to still feel this way. It's my fault she's
I
gone.
wonder how it is. Are you in here, Hana? Can you hear me? How is it, huh? To die? It must have been dreadful, no? I can't imagine it. I very much don't want to.
Look at me, talking about the horrible inevitability that is death. How depressing. Is it any wonder that I haven't completely gone off the edge yet? Or maybe I have, and I just don't want to admit it. Oasis whiskey. It could just be the alcohol. For a moment, I have to stop drinking. The whiskey must have hit me harder than I thought. But then again, looking at it, I've nearly emptied the bottle. What's left of the amber liquid gleams tauntingly in the low light of the cellar. I really didn't mean to drink so much. I only wanted to take off some of the edge. But I might as well finish it off. Regret can always wait. Though it comes sooner rather than later when I feel my breathing become slow and irregular. My hands have long been cold and clammy, around the time I was halfway through the bottle, but the urge to vomit has just started. Don't tell me you're going to die to pancreatitis of all things. Getting up to my feet is easier said than done, however. My coordination is basically shot to high hell with how much I've drank in one go. There is no doubt in my mind that trying to get up those stairs will be a struggle. But there is no way I'm going to vomit in here. I don't want the stench of throw-up anywhere near my collection. The world spins even before I can get anywhere near the stairs, though. I have to lean on the wall to stay standing. That's when a curious click echoes in the cellar. I have to question if it's my alcohol-addled brain making up the fact that a door just appeared out of nowhere.
This is interesting.
Oh no. Time to explore the jail! Perhaps if I am in a more sober mindset, I'll think twice about exploring unknown territory. I remember being wary after seeing this place in my dream. Running even. But I can't kick my curiosity to the curb so easily, what with the alcohol making me more adventurous. Besides, what's the worst that could happen? I think you're gonna die where your forefather died. Your ancestor. Descending even further, deeper, into the underground leaves me reeling, disoriented.
What's in blazes? What's going on medieval down here?
It's all medieval! It looks even horrid than the one in my nightmare. Torches and chains hang along the walls, and cells are set into the brick. It doesn't even occur to me to ask how the torches are lit, because I won't even be exaggerating if I say that the whole place reeks of death. I hobble along down the passage. One hand trails along the wall, and the other still clutches the whiskey bottle I've emptied. There's a giddy feeling as soon as the shock passes.
If I knew this was here, I could have put it to good use. Maybe.
I have to stifle the drunk giggles that threaten to spill uncontrollably. It's a wonder for all the horrid things that might have happened here. And it opens up a lot of questions about the history of the mansion. I'm no expert, but I don't think jails were a common feature in homes back then. How many people were locked up in here? What would have they even done to deserve this place? I can see little that speaks of its unfortunate inhabitants, though. Not until a particular cell draws my attention. Or rather, something in it. On the far wall, there's a small pile of something in it, thrown together in a small mound, as if someone has just hastily dumped them here. It's impossible to tell in this low light. Oh, is that where they dumped Johans? Belatedly, I realize that the dark smear from the foyer going into the kitchen and the wine cellar ends here. Okay, it's probably ash. But that is not where my gaze lingers. It's her necklace! That she changed into. Why would you drop it? A small stone gleams, its dark color a stark contrast to the hay-littered floor. It is such a simple thing that I could have passed it off as another ordinary stone if it isn't for the symbols painted on it and the thick cord. And in my curiosity, I kneel down and reach an arm through the bars to retrieve it. I'm quick to get back up to my feet, however, scowling at the dirt on my knees. The stone is cold and heavy in the palm of my hand. An interesting trinket, an accessory most likely. It is a shame I don't know what the symbols mean. My amusement at the find is quick to fade, though, as a woman's laughter echoes in the passage. It's that woman's voice. I didn't need to look to know that it's her. But that's a problem, because I hear her, but I don't see her. I had been terrified when I first saw her, but they don't call alcohol liquid courage, or liquid stupidity, in this case, as I seek her out. The trinket slips through my fingers, and in its place my knife.
Where are you? Show yourself!
There are eyes on me, but every time I turn around there is nothing. Nothing but a horrid feeling that buzzes under my skin. Anxiety overpowers the haze of intoxication and wraps its arms around me, suffocating and straining. But terror doesn't take hold until I hear a whisper in my ear, and familiar arms come from behind to rest across my chest.
You've come for me, my prince. I am so happy.
Hana? How'd you get your necklace back on? Blood's gone. You're looking dead. You also look very small compared to this jail cell. I have questions. Probably none that can be answered. Oh, look how happy she is. Why is this here? This is after Ash got stabbed. That should be, like, way further. The power was still off when Luke woke up. Brushing away the bad dreams, he went down to the wine cellar to find a drink that could help him sleep. Intoxicated, he stumbled into the same room he had seen in his dream, and inside is... Hana? There's a creeping feeling, as if there are hands running all over me. Something in me screams and snarls at the thought of being held down. This is wrong, it says to supply the obvious. Hana's dead. She's supposed to be dead.
You came home to us, and with us you will stay.
Well, that's scary.
Our lord, my prince.
Get your hands off me! What do you want?
Though wrong doesn't quite paint a proper picture of what happens next. Oh my. My scream is cut off the moment those hands push their fingers through my lips. Ooh. I can't see what they really are as my eyes threaten to roll into the back of my skull and pain racks my entire being. What are you doing? I am silent and on the verge of choking, suffocating, drowning. I can feel everything. They crawl and slither down my throat like snakes, searching and filling every part of me, leaving sloughed skins and crushing my insides. Are you getting possessed right now? My body shivers, and the smallest of movements brings the greatest of pains. I feel like I'm about to burst. But no matter how long we stay like this, death does not come to bring me relief. Up, down, and around they go until they all converge around my chest where my heart should be, and they squeeze. Tears flow freely through though my cries are muffled, and snot drips down my nose. I'm not in control of my body at all, and I think, this is it. This is how I die. But then there's nothing. Nothing but lightness and air and the feeling of being emptied out, scraped raw. I feel sullied and tainted, like I've been dissected, torn apart, and put back in the wrong order. My cheeks are wet as I snivel like a snotty child. Bile rises in my throat, and I want to be sick, try and throw up any remnant of what may have been inside of me. I nearly forget about her in my devastated state, until she laughs.
Please! Please, no more! Please! Oh God, please! Somebody help me!
That voice acting, though. Oh, well, he turned into Donald Duck at the end. But her laughter only grows louder, echoing in my head. My heart seizes in my chest, and I... Till death do us part. So many dots. Did you die? A curious local discovers an eerily empty mansion months later. With its new owners having disappeared into thin air, whispers quickly spread across Luxburn City. Officers who investigated it have found only smears of blood on the walls and floors. Nothing else. Eventually, they have deemed the mystery of the Ermengarde mansion as another tragedy brought upon the city by the Anselm Butcher. But for those who still believe in the stories of the old, and those who know the truth, it is but a testament to the curse and the secrets the Ermengarde mansion has hidden for centuries. If there will come a time those will finally be revealed, only the hallowed halls of the mansion know. To this day it stands silent. However, on nights when the wind howls and thunder booms across the sky... Beyond the veil? Well, she didn't quite kill him. Unless all the souls that she's killed are now part of the mansion, including his. Like, Bella and Ash and Zach and... Like, everybody might still be in there somewhere. Some still claim hearing of voices within, of cries and wails that fill the nights, and desperate calls of help for anyone who dares listen.
Somebody! Please! Get me out of here! Help! Anyone! Help me, please!
I don't think they can get you, man. Whew. Wow, well that was a very quick epilogue. Alright, well everybody died. I'm just gonna drink the end of my cold coffee here. Ah, there we go. All done. Well, to say that things changed drastically in the story is an understatement. Not really a surprise, but I am impressed nonetheless just how different everything played out with everyone's successive deaths. Like, very, very interesting. I was also thrilled to actually get some, like, spoken dialogue to go with the memory fragments we had collected along the way. That was really, really interesting, so I'm hoping if I can find... I think I'm missing 2 or 3 I can find those other ones, then get a little bit more background into what happened back then. But it sounds like Takako and Charlotte were both kind of messed up in their own ways. I still am very interested to know how they kind of melded into this ghost lady. And, you know, how many ghosts make up the ghost lady exactly. We also learned the Lord's name is Edouard, so that was great. Man. The death scenes. Oh yeah, I was supposed to, like, rate how gross the death scenes were, like which one was the worst. I think I'll rate them all when I do the final thoughts on this game. But if I was gonna say, like, which was the worst to look at, I think Bella's is the worst. I think she had the worst death. Probably closely followed by Marianne, I would say. Just for, like, the most painful. Well, all of them were really painful and gory, though, so it's like... I just think the worst ones for me to look at was Bella and Marianne, personally. But none of them were easy to look at, to say the least. We didn't get a death scene for Luke, really. He's still kind of alive. Or his soul is, anyway. I'm very interested to see what the what's it called? The branching tree. That's what I'm trying to think of. What the branching tree looks like at the end. Because, I mean, that's going to be wildly different. I'll be curious if I made any progress percentage-wise. I mean, I must have, right? I just hope it's not soul-crushing, like, congratulations, you unlocked 1 more % in Luke's route. Like, oh no. And I'm waiting, because I'm like, did Kylie survive? Or was even Kylie not spared and everyone died ending? So we'll find out. Kylie, you're our last hope. I love all the random reviews on this thing. It's so funny. No Luke, Isabella, no bye. Hana, Isabella, please. Alright. Let's see what happens. Actually, before we do that, hold on, Kylie. I want to see what happened. Alright. So I'm just missing 6% on Bella's route. Okay, there's like a little... Ash isn't here. Okay, so there's like a little spot there. There's a little lock. Okay, that's with Zach. So I'm missing a couple things on Zach. And then this little third ending. That's going to be a little later. Hana is now... I was kidding about the 12% Luke. 14? All you're going to give me is 14? This is so rude. Oh, boy. Okay, well... Okay, that's for Hana's third ending. So at least I know where I'm going with that. Zachary, 82%. That's pretty good. There's a story update there. Okay, so there's a whole line that we haven't explored with Zach yet. A couple of locked stuff. We went down here. A couple more locked things down here. And... yeah, just a couple of story updates things, it looks like. Wish you could see what it's updating specifically, but... oh well, what can you do? There's a little thing. Okay, some story updates here still. So we went past this part. And there's a couple of locked things up there. Interesting. That we never got when he was alive. Marianne is at 90%. Dang, girl. And even so, there's like a big chunk. Big chungo chunk there. I haven't gotten. Alright. Her chapter's fairly short. Becca's at 69. Okay, there's a locked thing way down here. There's a whole nother path here that we have not looked at. And again. Okay, so there's a couple of locked pieces. But I went down here this time. Okay. And there's another... There's like... Man, there's a whole bunch of stuff in here. What's this? Ah, okay. Instead of assisting... Zachary has quite a bit of branching stuff. Interesting. Okay. Then there's all this. Not touched at all. Great. He'll love to see it. Okay, so I went up the top this time. Which skips a lot of stuff, apparently. Okay. And then we go to Ashton, who's now at 45%. So we went down. Okay, that's the same with Becca. And this is the story update. Okay, I think this is where we diverge from the good end. Then we go back again, another story update. This is where the QTE would have been. So we went for quite a while. Oh no, do I have to turn QTE on and die to unlock this? Ashton Frey. Swear. I gotta let her slice and dice me without Bella around. That's actually not gonna happen next time though. I'm gonna have to remember like 2 routes from now. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff up there that hasn't been seen yet. And here. Oh god. Oh god. Oh, I'm so... Okay, we gotta... Okay, well I went down here and not... not anywhere near there. Okay, so that's all locked stuff. What is in there? What in the dingleberries, Ashton? Good God in heaven. Oh boy. Oh lord. Oh boy, oh lord. Oh gosh. We skipped so much stuff, we went like way down here again. What? So we went down instead of up? Oh gosh. And now 14 for you. So we still haven't gotten this thing, whatever that is. I really thought that was we were gonna unlock this because everyone was dead. Apparently not. Okay, so we unlocked some things. Thank goodness. Alright. Alright. There's a whole bunch of locked thingoos. Oh boy, we're skipping a bunch of stuff. Where did we... Oh. Bad End B. Interesting. Look how far back we are in his story. I thought it... What? Look how... Oh my... No wonder. Alright, well, Kylie, I made you wait long enough.
Teal? Where are you, Teal?
Oh, Kylie, no. You were the chosen one.
Teal? Please. She's here!
Is it still Ghost Lady, or is it going to be Possessed Hana? Okay.
She's still here, Teal!
Okay, I don't want to see the next snap. Thank you. I'm just going to skip through that. So nothing changed there. Right. Well, guys, we finished our all-death run. So claps all around for all of us. We made it through. Oh, that was rough. That was... Ugh. But we did it. We got through it. We learned some things. Also discovered that I'm nowhere near close to completing some characters' chapters. So yay for that. But yeah, anyway, next time the plan is to leave one extra character, like one character alive, and kill everybody else. In order of chapter. So for instance, next time Bella is going to survive all the horrors, but everyone else is going to die. And then next will be Hana. Everyone will die. Zach, everyone will die. You get the idea. So that's our plan going forward from here. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this run as much as you can enjoy an all-death run anyway. And yeah, thank you for hanging out with me as always. And next time, we'll see what shenanigans we get up to. Alright, until next time then, I'll see you later.